many people dying. Why, oh, why, oh, why? Too many people starving. Why, oh, why? Too many people harming. Shame, shame, shame on you. I want your heart. I need your heart. Give me your heart. Oh yeah, yeah. We need your heart. Do that again. I want your heart. I need your heart. Give me your heart. Oh yeah, yeah. We need your heart. Please. So many wars, what are they for? So much hate and confusion. I know it's a solution. Together we pray, one love today. Together we say, one love today. Together we say, I want your heart. I want your heart. I need your heart. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Give me your heart. We need your heart. Oh yeah, yeah, I want your heart. I need your heart. Give me your heart. Hey, yeah, yeah. We need your heart. Let's go.
and happy Valentine's Day. I'm practitioner Clarissa Crow, and thank you for tuning in today. So how is your love affair with the divine going? Have you been spending time courting the presence of the divine? For me, that's really what this day is about. Romantic partner love is great and awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Libra, so I'm definitely a hopeless romantic. But as I've progressed on my spiritual journey and found myself on this mystical path, my focus has shifted to a different kind of romance. Falling in love with God within, for me, has been falling in love with life. According to Matthew Fox, the job of the mystic is falling in love. Maybe you've never fancied yourself a mystic, but if you are in the business of deepening your awareness of truth, of discovering a greater love, of experiencing oneness, then a mystic is exactly what you are. I'm going to share with you the actual words of Matthew Fox. He said, "A mystic is a lover. The primary work of the mystic is to be falling in love on a regular basis, which of course is not just about falling in love with a two-legged mate, but with all the elements of existence. Not taking our breath for granted, not taking water for granted, not taking the animals for granted, and the air and everything else. The mystic has opened his or her heart to be filled with joy. Filled with joy. A mystic is a lover." Michael Henry Dunn, in his book called Romancing the Divine, says this: "All one's life, whether we know it or not, is but the story of Spirit's loving pursuit of the soul, in the hope that someday we will turn and look back over our shoulder to behold the face of the one who has been yearning for our love." He says, "It is my experience that if you follow the lover's path with heart, if you seek out the method of inner communion that works for you, if you do not let your flaws and stumbles deter you, even grave flaws and disastrous stumbles, if you find that image of the divine that stirs your heart, if you whisper to that lover ceaselessly and go within each day to commune with your beloved in silence, and carry that joy into the battles of your day, then this sweetest of lovers will touch you, will guide you, will become unmistakably real to you, will become reality itself to you." Your relationship with the divine is personal. You know, sometimes the way we speak of God or Spirit can seem so vast that it might be hard to relate to it in a really personal way. God, the absolute, omnipresent, infinite love. But the truth is, that infinite presence is as close to you as your very breath. And it knows you intimately. And your relationship with that love is deeply personal and not like anyone else's. The way that you experience communion with the divine is uniquely your own. And the way that the divine gets to experience itself, herself, himself as you is uniquely personal as well. There's a beautiful song of communion by Nako, and one line in it, it's called Great Spirit. And one line in it says, "Great Spirit, all that hinders, tie reminders to my fingers. I must speak with you more often." So this ring on my finger, This isn't a wedding ring from my husband. This ring represents my commitment to my ever-deepening relationship with the divine, to showing up for it, because the more I take the time to cultivate and nurture that romance, the more joy and love and peace I get to experience. And then that just becomes the seasoning that flavors all my other relationships and everything that I do. So I'd like to invite you now to just receive a breath and go to a quiet place within yourself and let these words from beloved Sufi mystic Hafiz wash over you like summer rain. Only that illumined one who keeps seducing the formless into form had the charm to win my heart. Only a perfect one who is always laughing at the word two can make you know of love. Wherever God lays his glance, life starts clapping. The myriad creatures grab their instruments and join the song. Wherever love makes itself known against another body, the jewel in the eye starts to dance. There are so many positions of love, each curve on a branch, 1,000 different ways your eyes can embrace us, the infinite shapes your mind can draw, the spring orchestra of scents, the currents of light combusting like passionate lips, the revolution of existence's skirt whose folds contain other worlds, your every sigh that falls against his inconceivable, omnipresent body. I do not want to step so quickly over a beautiful line on God's palm as I move through the earth's marketplace today. I do not want to touch any object in this world without my eyes testifying to the truth that everything is my beloved. Something has happened to my understanding of existence that now makes my heart always full of wonder and kindness. I do not want to step so quickly over this sacred place on God's body that is right beneath your own foot as I dance with precious life today. Be well, be love. Enjoy today's message. Namaste.
True.
Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. Sing it with me. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. Oh, doesn't it feel good to pray that way? Doesn't it feel good to just dive into those juicy cravings and go to God and say, give it to me. Give me what I crave. Give me that desire that is burning in my spirit. How does it feel when you just allow yourself those deep cravings? How does it feel right now in your body to sing those words? Give it to me and give it to me now. And what if I told you that feeling, those juicy, delicious cravings are God's cravings? That is God having its way with you. And what if I told you that was your spiritual purpose right here on this planet, to let God have its way with you? And that those very desires, those very longings, those very juicy, sensual wishes are divine. That is God living itself as you and desperately wanting to live itself through you. From Ralph Waldo Emerson: when we have broken our God of tradition and ceased from our God of rhetoric, then may God fire the heart with its presence. When we connect to those juicy longings and desires and cravings, we are allowing God to fire our hearts with its presence. We are allowing the very manifest form of God as our beings to move in us, to create through us. But we've got to give ourselves permission to crave, to long, to desire. You know, we've talked about these different forms of love along the way. There's eros and agape, philos. But we in spiritual circles, we tend to think that agape is the only kind of love that's godly. But what if all of it is? What if eros is godly? What if allowing ourselves to have an erotic experience of life itself, of how juicy and delicious it is just as much God as compassion, as kindness? What if we made that so? What if we put down our God of tradition, our love of rhetoric, and allowed the holy wholeness of love, the holy wholeness of God as our beings? And our beings include desire and sexy and cravings and deliciousness and juicy goodness. which means that must be part of the one as well. Because we say there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life right now. If that is the truth, then that means that all of those cravings and desires and juicy goodnesses that are yours are God's. That's what that means. And I can hear through those cameras some of you saying to me, but what about my craving for X? And what about my desire for Y? And I would ask you, what about them? Tell me, talk to me. What are those cravings and those desires that you are ripe with? Put them in the comments feed. Tell me all about them. And then I want you to tell yourself where they are rising from. Ask yourself where these desires come from. Are these deep, burning heart and soul cravings? Or are these fear-driven, not enoughness wishes and cravings and desires? And I can't answer that for you. You have to answer that for yourself. How do we begin to discern that lit up, juicy, God-fired craving, desire from fear and urgency and, oh my God, I'm not enough and I have to have this thing so that I can be enough kind of craving? What's the difference? I'm going to tell you from Teilhard de Chardin. It says that joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. Because we don't have to do anything to have joy. We don't have to meet a need or a wish or a desire or a craving to have joy. Joy is. And when that joy is present, and you are experiencing a longing and a craving and a desire, and it is joy-filled, that's how you know. When you are singing those words, give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give me what I say. And you are lit up. You are full of desire and fire that is joyous. That's God. If you are clenched up, jaw clenched, oh my God, if I don't get this thing, the world will end. Not so joyous, not so juicy. If you are sitting around thinking, I must have a partner. If I don't have a partner, I will not be complete. I would not call that joy-filled. I would not call that God's desire for you. But if you are in this space of like, oh my God, I am loving my whole being and I can't wait to share that with somebody, that is God desiring that partnership through you. If you are running around with urgency saying, holy crap, the world is falling apart and I have to do something and I just wish it would all be better, that's fear. But if you are in the center of your being going, God, I know how good love is. And I want that so deeply for every human being on this planet. Let me move with the impulse of love so that I can make that more available. That is God. And it has everything to do with where in us those cravings and desires are rising from. And it's up to us to do that work of discernment. It's up to us to have such self-awareness and such spiritual maturity that we are able to tell the difference. That's where some of the work comes in. That's one of those places, again, where I cannot tell you from up here what that is for you. Only you can know that. Because the outcome may look exactly the same. I want a partner. And you may get a partner. And whether that came from fear or whether that came from love may not change the outcome so much. Might change the kind of partner you attract. That's a whole other talk and set of teachings. But the outcome may be the same. You may decide to join the team at the local food bank because you are so urgent with fixing the world. And you may decide to join the team at your local food bank because you are so ready to share the love that you are in this way. Very different motivation. And what I offer is your experience of taking that step, your experience of manifesting that partner or that thing or that money or that whatever is going to be very different. Your experience of getting what you want and getting what God wants is in alignment when you are willing to discern where that's rising from. And holy cow, the power that lives in that. Holy cow, the power that lives in the force of love bringing something forward rather than the force of fear. And it has everything to do with the world we want to be creating. Because when we are stepping out into the world from that deep, juicy, gorgeous love place, we're going to create all kind of love. And when we are stepping out into the world from that urgent, tight, shrunken, fearful place, we're going to create a whole bunch of urgent fear. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see more love in this world. I'm ready to experience more of that good God juiciness, which means I need you to get connected to that joy, to the eros, to the creative force of the one herself, and start stepping out into the world with that. That is, my friends, how this thing works. That is the law of the universe, the very sexy law of the universe. And it's time that we embrace the whole thing. It's time that we give ourselves permission to embrace our whole glorious, sexy selves. And whatever those desires that are unique to us, whatever that joy is firing in our bellies, that is ours to do. From Rev. Sidney Lemenstein, a Centers for Spiritual Minister, said, mystical living is not intellectually achieved. The mystic lives the mystical experience by letting God be God as them. And what if I told you being a mystic, allowing God to be God as you, means that you got to let yourself be juicy and full of longing and desire and cravings. That is part of that mystical tradition, and all of those great mystics from all the traditions have at some point along the way spoke of the burning desire for God. This giant longing that could not be filled by the material universe. And they let it burn them up. They let it burn them so that their experience of the one could be felt sensually, creatively. And so I want to ask you, what lights you up right now in your life? What desire, what craving has got you on fire right now? Put it in the comments feed. Allow yourself to take that feeling into prayer, into chant. Go to God with, give it to me, give me what I crave. Give me this joy that I know is my birthright. Allow me to be a divine outlet so that you can get here more fully. Allow me to be so filled up that I have no choice but to act, to move in this world as the very fire of God itself. This is what that longing really is. And we think we're going to get it met through the right partner, through the right money, and we think we're going to get it met through the right work, or if I just volunteer enough, or if I just do enough good, or if I just practice compassion and kindness enough, I will have met that deep longing in my soul. And no, you will not. That longing in your soul is the ember of the fire that wants to burn through you. The longing in your soul that has yet to be fulfilled through all of these outer circumstances is because it wants to be you. It wants to move you in right action. And only you know what that is. And I only know what that is for me. And that is what makes this life so gorgeous and beautiful. That's what makes God so epic, is all of these unique, gorgeous burnings in each of our beings. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind in our tradition, says, we must become the thing we want. We must see it, think it, realize it, before the creative power of mind can work it out for us. We must become the thing we want. You want the love of your life? Be the love of your life. You want the experience of riches and abundance on this planet for you and for everybody else? You be the abundant, on fire piece of God that you are. We must not just know it and see it, we got to taste it. We got to feel it in all of our bodies. We got to let it move in us, through us, move us in those divinely inspired actions. I had teachers along the way who said the process of manifestation is be, do, have. Being first. We must be the thing we want to bring forward. We can't go out there and get it and consume it. We can't go out there and hoard it and think that somehow then we'll be it. We are already it. And this God of tradition, this God of rhetoric that says we must detach from desire, that says we must take a vow of poverty to be good, that says we must follow a set of commandments and moral laws in order to be godly. It is not until we break free of this God of rhetoric, this God of tradition, and holy, welcome in the God of desire, the God of eros, the God of agape, the God of philos. It is not until we fully allow God to be all that it is in our own beings and stop trying to cut ourselves into these pieces to fit some mold of holiness, of goodness that we think we're supposed to fit. Some inherited idea of what goodness is. We got to break free of it. And the way we can do that is connect more fully into the body of desire. Connect more fully into that burning, longing impulse that is in there for each one of us. And pray those prayers. Chant those chants. Sing those songs and dance those dances. That is how we will get what we want, is by being what we want. So, I want you to take some questions with you into your practice this week. What in my life is lighting me up and setting me on fire? What in my life, what in your life is lighting you up and setting you on fire right now? And it may not be the thing it's supposed to be or you think it should be, but really check it out. When I am engaged in this activity, I am so on fire. When I think about this person, I am lit up. When I anticipate that experience, I can hardly stay in my skin. What are those things in your life right now? And question 2 is, can you see them as divinely appointed? Can you reconcile that very whatever it is God ordained, is your holy, holy next step? Yes, you can see it? And then I'm going to invite you to chant this prayer with me. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give me what I say. Give it to me, give me what I crave. Give it to me now, give it when I say. This is your divine right. And so it is.
When I started the chaplaincy program, I was introduced to spiritual direction and missed contemplative life of falling back into kind of darkness. And so I sat there for a long, long time. And when the joy started to come, I know I did not reach for it. It was coming from somewhere beyond me. So all I could do was just be open to it. I wasn't angry, mad at God for taking away, the source of my joy, or I just knew it could not come from within me. Or maybe it's within me, but not in that, within the realm of my conscious self,
It was in your heart, not your head.
Yeah, and I just have to, I think the source of joy, like I would believe, I'm a pastor, so I tell people, God wants you to have a joyous life. God wants you to live a life abundant. And it was like, yeah, I believe that for everybody, but I didn't expect it from me, having experienced what I had. But it did started to come, and I know it had to come from deeper place than my own consciousness. I did not make a decision to reclaim joy. So whatever, depending on your faith language, whether it comes from above but it was from beyond my conscious self. And the mysticism and contemplative life taught me there was such place that was beyond my own small self-consciousness, and something that is sacred and holy is happening in that realm beyond. So I now try to make myself consciously open to that space. I'm still learning how to walk that walk.
That's the mystical practice, though, yeah? To
Yeah, that's the practice. Yeah.
to that space. That's the deal. You know, there's allegories about it and Sufi tales about, you know, the devout mystic travels the path to the door beyond which the divine resides. And he knocks on the door and he knocks, and the divine answers from within, "Who's there?" And he says, it's me, I'm here." And the divine says, "Go away, there's no room for you." And this happens several times. Finally, the mystic's an old and tired and just worn out from this journey, and he gets to the door and he knocks, and inside, the beloved, the divine, responds, "Who's there?" And he says, "It is thee." And the door opens. And I think that, you know, we it's surrender, right? It's just like letting go of all that you thought, all that you believed, all that you think you knew, and allowing, like you said, for it to just come and bring you to it.